Hey, Bo, where are you right now? You didn't actually forget about the plans we made for today, right?
What? What plans did we have again?
Today is Nina's conference. We both promised her that today we'd be going to cheer her on there.
Ah!
Today is her national conference, and it's a very important thing for not only her, but for us as her parents. So where are you right now? I never thought that you'd leave the house while I was out shopping for a few things this morning.
Well, actually, I had some work pop up out of nowhere, so I had to go into the office this morning. I'm really annoyed by this.
I knew that would be something you'd say, and that's why I came to your office to get you.
What?
Recently, you've been getting called into the office quite a lot, and so I thought you'd be here again today. I thought it would be a lot faster for me to come and get you from here instead of waiting for you at home. I just came in a little bit ago and asked the young lady at the front desk to call you down to see me. But she told me that you aren't here right now.
Are you an idiot? What do you think you're doing coming all the way out to your husband's office like that without telling me first?
What do you think I'm doing? I came here to get you. Yet I've been told you're not even here right now. What's that about? You just told me a second ago that you had to leave home this morning to come into work.
Just because I said I had work to do doesn't mean it's at the office. I can go wherever I want with the work I'm being asked to do. I'm done fighting with you about this. You go to her event by yourself today. Once I've finished with my work, I'll be coming out to see you both.
You say that, but you've never been to one of her events before, Bo. And today she's really looking forward to having you there cheering her on. Today is a very important conference for her. I think every once in a while you need to put your family before work.
Shut up already. All that is a simple conference for her to do whatever it is that she does. All it is a simple sport that she likes to do in her free time, right? And now you're telling me to put her playtime ahead of my work? Not happening.
What?
You cheering her on today should be more than enough for her. I can't leave my job for her today, so you take care of supporting her.
Bo, what you just said was pretty cruel, right? That girl has been putting all of her time and energy into this. Yet you're just calling it a mere sport for her to kill her free time with?
Shut it! Don't forget that the only reason she's at all of those conferences in the first place is because of me. Are we done here? As the father, I'm working my butt off to make sure you both have money to keep on having fun. If it wasn't for my income, you wouldn't be able to go out shopping all the time, and Nina wouldn't be able to play her sports. Yet now you're asking me to put my family before my work? I will not have you telling me such bull crap anymore.
No way, Bo.
I'm working today. For something like Nina's conference, I'm not wasting a day's worth of work to go out and cheer her on.
Mom, the conference is completely over with now. We're getting on the school bus now and we'll be heading back to the school. And once we have our rundown of how the conference went back at the locker room, I'll be coming home.
Great work today, Nina. And congrats on being able to compete in nationals. You really put in a lot of work today, and I can't wait to see you back at home.
Thank you, Mom. I could hear you cheering for me up in the stands all day today. But Dad didn't end up coming today, did he?
I'm really sorry about that, Nina. Once again, your dad had to run into work.
Always about work with him. And he always seems to have to leave for work on the days I have my events.
He is a very busy person there, so it can't really be helped. But he really did want to come and watch you today.
Then why was he out walking around with a very young girl today?
What?
Tell me what about that is a part of his work? Wait, don't tell me. Is Dad one of those older men us girls like to call sugar daddies?
What are you talking about? What did you see today that makes you think your dad was walking with a younger girl?
At today's conference, the men's team played for a really long time, right? And since my team had already finished their matches for today, we decided to take a break outside and walk around. We had to kill some time, and since I was burnt out from the matches I played, I couldn't really find the energy to cheer for the men anymore. So while I was out relaxing with some of my teammates, I saw Dad. Or at least a man that really resembles him.
What?
That definitely had to have been Dad back there. I mean, I'm his daughter after all, so I know what his face looks like. And that man was him. Although he was really talking with that younger girl like he was trying to go on a date with her or something, I could tell it was him.
Like he wanted to go on a date with her? That had to have been another man. And if it really was Dad, then perhaps she's just someone from his office.
I don't think it's right for someone Dad's age to have the arms of another girl from his office around him. And when looking at her, she was not in office-appropriate clothing. Even a high schooler like myself knows that. Mom, that was Dad today on a date with the younger woman he's cheating on you with.
Cheating on me with? No way.
Don't get too worked up over it now, Mom. Dad's never really cared that much about you and I, and it's shown for a very long time now. Also, there have been loads of times where he just sits on his phone smiling without even batting an eye towards either one of us.
What?
But of course, hearing all of this now is pretty rough for you, right?
You're a lot more cut and dry than I thought you were, Nina. You just saw your own father in the act of cheating on your mother, yet...
Well, that's because I'm in high school now and see all kinds of crazy things here. If I were still in elementary school, it would be one thing, but what I saw today doesn't even compare to some of the things I've seen and heard about in school.
I'm sorry, Nina. You happen to be so well put together, yet both your mother and father are acting like children.
Don't even worry about that, Mom. As long as I still have you around, I'm okay. And since Dad has never really cared about me, I don't really care that he's out cheating now.
Nina.
Oh, the bus is leaving now. I'm gonna hop on with my sub and relax a bit while eating it. See you later today, Mom. And since my team is going international, make sure to prepare a dessert or something for me.
Of course, I'll get you all the dessert you want to eat. Have a safe trip back home, okay? I haven't been able to get anything from your dad, so he most likely won't be coming home tonight. So you and I can feast on some really nice cakes and such from the local bakery.
Happy birthday, Dee Dee! Now you've turned 40 and can finally be considered over the hill.
What? What the heck is this about? It's rare for you to ever remember the day of my birthday, Bo. I mean, you forget about everything when it comes to Nina and I, so what gives?
Hey, you and Nina are both really insistent. I've never forgot about either of you, like you always say. I just have work to attend to that pops up out of nowhere. Get it? Out of nowhere. Yet ever since that weekend a month ago, you both have been ignoring me like I'm not even a part of the family anymore.
Work popping up out of nowhere, huh?
Well, none of that really matters anymore, though. Now that you've hit the age of 40, I have something I've been wanting to talk with you about.
Oh? And what could that be? Don't tell me that you went ahead and reserved a special dinner for me at a steakhouse or something.
Huh? Who would ever want to go out to dinner with you? I have something far better than that ready for you as a present. A divorce all ready to go with the snap of my fingers.
Excuse me?
Actually, I happen to run into the girl I've been destined for, but I still have a wife and daughter keeping me chained down. I'd been putting up with the fact that I'd never be able to marry her, but now that you've hit 40, I think I need to move on. That's why I'm asking for this divorce now.
I never thought someone could be so cold-hearted that they'd ask for a divorce on someone else's birthday. Although I had this suspicion that a day like today would be coming, just didn't think it'd be the day of my birthday.
What was that?
I've known about you cheating on me, Bo. You seem to be really hitting it off with a very young girl.
What? You've known about it this whole time? Well, that makes talking to you about all of this a lot easier. Of course, you're on board with getting a divorce from me, right?
Yes, of course. Which means that now we have to decide on the more fine details of the divorce, right? I plan to make sure that with this divorce, you pay me the settlement that I'm rightfully owed.
I've been planning on doing that for you from the start. I happen to be a gentleman and will take responsibility for all my actions. I promise to not only pay you that settlement, but give you half of our shared properties. Actually, if you have a look at your bank account, a lot of the money I planned to send you is already there.
You really had everything squared away for this then, huh?
That girl keeps yapping my ear off about how she wants to get married right now. It's a hard life being a good-looking man like myself.
Is that right? Then what about custody of Nina? Before I talk with her about it, I'd like to see what you want to do.
I'm not taking care of her. I've been waiting a long time now to start my new life with the girl I'm destined for. Having a high school girl getting mixed up in that would be a pain in my ass.
A pain in your ass, huh? I don't think you should be saying that about your daughter, though, Bo.
I don't need to see her again, and I'll make sure to pay whatever child support she needs. That should leave you without any complaints, right?
So you have no interest in your own daughter whatsoever?
I'm sure she doesn't have any interest in me either, right? She's at that age now where she sees her dad as being annoying anyway. If anything, she'll be happy that I'm leaving her now.
I see.
Even you're happy about this happening now, right? As long as you go and allow this divorce to happen right now, I promise to give you the rest of the money and child support for her. And you can have full custody of her.
Nina said she wants to go with you.
What?
She's been sitting with me and I just asked her what she wants to do. And that's when she told me she wants to go with you instead of me. Which means you're going to have to take custody of her, Bo. Please and thank you.
Excuse me?
When it comes to child support, you can have it by not paying me anything as a settlement. Now, please take great care of Nina for me.
Hey, hold your horses. Nina really said that she wants to go with me? Stop screwing around with me. I don't need to have custody of her.
Even if you don't think you need them, it's up to her as the child to decide. And as your daughter, you have to listen to her if you want this divorce to happen. And what she's saying is that she wants to go with you.
Why does she want to go with me? Normally the kids should want to go with their mom in the divorce, right?
Well, I want to go with you so I can continue playing basketball.
What? Is that you, Nina? Why are you saying that you want to go with me? That would mean you have to come and live with my girlfriend and me. You shouldn't want to have to do that, right?
I don't want to do that, but I do want to continue playing basketball for my school. Dad, you're always telling me this, aren't you? That it's because of you and your income that I'm able to play these sports?
What?
What you're saying is true, Dad. Playing for this team does cost some money, and that money comes from you. I have to pay for things like new shoes, new socks, and knee bands, and from time to time, I need to pay for the hotel stays. That's why I can't let you leave me when I have to be paying for all these things. I want to play for this team until I'm finished with high school, all right?
You're only going with me because you want to keep playing basketball?
That's right. That's just how much I love the sport of basketball and playing for my team. I'm sure you would have never noticed that I liked the sport and team so much, though, since you're always interested in cheating. But I happen to be an all-star on my team. I'm going to play at the international conference soon, and I've already been scouted by a couple of universities.
Are you serious?
But I wouldn't be able to continue playing for another 2 years if all you gave Mom was child support. I don't want to burden Mom any with my life, and since you already have a good-paying job, I thought I should just stick with you. I just can't quit playing basketball at a time like this, Dad. I just can't. So even though I'm going to hate living with your girlfriend now, I have no other choice but to go with you. But don't worry, as I'm a teenager, I can care for myself as long as you pay for me.
I am not playing games right now, Nina. If you go with me, then I'll be in trouble. I never thought for an instant that you'd want to go with me in the divorce. Are you saying that you can't burden your mom, but when it comes to burdening your dad, it's totally fine?
I like to think so. I mean, you're nothing more than a cheating dumbass.
What?
I don't care about what a dumbass has to go through. But really, don't get too worried, because I'm not going with you in order to break up your guys' relationship or anything. I would actually love to have a little brother or sister, so go ahead and try for a kid with her.
Wait, you can't be serious. If I have to bring my daughter with me, She's not going to like it. She already told me she couldn't have you around.
Hey, she was the one going out with a married man, so she has no choice in the matter. Was she not aware of the fact that your daughter might want to tag along with you after the divorce? Or perhaps she's even more brain dead than you are, Dad, and didn't take into consideration the risks of wanting to lay her hands on a married man.
What was that?
That's right. I want to know about the university that your girlfriend's going to right now. In a few years, I'll have to go off to college as well, and I would like to avoid whatever school is churning out a dumbass like her.
What? Hold on, how come you know about her still being in university?
You really think that high schoolers don't know a thing or two about the real world? All I had to do was go online and I found all her social media accounts. She seems to think it's really cute to post all these stories about how she's dating a married man.
What?
I never wanted for Mom to be any more shocked than she already is about you. So I've made sure not to tell her anything about how you're with a girl half your age who is still going to Ding Dong University.
You don't talk about my girlfriend that way. My girlfriend is neither an idiot or a dumbass. She's a very important and smart person to me.
Then you shouldn't have a problem with me going with you, right? If she's not as stupid as I think she is, then she should be prepared for you to bring your daughter along after the divorce.
Hold on. She's...
Anyway, now that you're aware, I can't wait to go with you. Please let your girlfriend know that I can't wait to meet with her. Oh, one more thing. This is from Mom. She no longer wants to see your face anymore, so don't come back here. She also wants you to go ahead and send her those papers right now so that she can sign them the moment they're here and hand them in.
Hey, Dee Dee. What the hell do you think you're doing to me? My girlfriend, Ashley, just told me that she can't marry me anymore. I was talking with her about Nina, about how she was wanting to come with me into our new life, and that's when my girlfriend went and told me that I was not allowed to bring Nina along. She then went on to say that if I'm bringing another woman's kid into our relationship, there would be no marriage.
Well. So she really had no clue what she was doing then, that stupid college student.
You go and talk Nina out of coming with me right now and figure out a way to take full custody of her from me.
That's not possible anymore, Bo. When it comes to things like being a parent and keeping custody, a girl Nina's age can decide all of that herself. And I'm not going to force her to have me as her mother if she's wanting to keep you as her father.
I'll pay you however much you ask me in child support, okay? That should be enough to force you to take her, right?
What? You can really give me any amount I ask for?
That's not all I can do for you. I'll make sure to give you whatever you ask for in child support, as well as pay for all of Nina's basketball-related gear and crap. I've even gone ahead and made a contract up for this. I've already signed my half, so I'm sending this contract over to your place right now so that you can sign yours. Therefore, please take Nina away from me.
Not only are you still willing to pay for anything related to Nina and basketball, but you're also willing to give me as much as I ask for in child support? Are you really sure all of that is okay?
With how things have turned out now, I have no other choice, but you have to make sure she goes to you. If you don't do anything about Nina, then my girlfriend is going to leave me for good, and then I'll have nobody. I will not allow the girl I'm destined for to run away from me.
Understood. I suppose I'll go and have another word with her about this.
Make it quick, please, because if this ends up causing my girlfriend to leave me, then I'm never gonna forgive either of you. Hey, Dee Dee, you know what? We don't need to get a divorce after all. I'm coming back to you right now.
What's this about now? You were all excited about getting a divorce from me, yet now you want to cancel it? You've done a 180 from the Bo you were yesterday.
Shut up. My girlfriend ended up leaving me for good, so I have no other choice. Because of you guys, she and I had to break up.
What? So she ran away from you, is what you're saying?
While I was away at work today, she grabbed all her things and ran off. I've been calling her all day, yet she hasn't picked up one of my calls. Then, while frantically scrambling around the house, I found a letter from her. She said that she couldn't handle having Nina around and that she didn't want to have to pay a settlement to you for something she didn't want. And then she told me she was dumping me.
So she got a glimpse at reality and then bolted away from it? I guess she didn't know what she was getting herself into after all, making moves with a married man like that.
Without her around me, there's no point in me divorcing you anymore. That's why these talks about divorce are over with now. I'm coming back to your place right now.
You can make the trip back here, but I'm not letting you inside. Also, I don't have any plans of canceling this divorce.
What?
I can't live with a man that thinks it's okay to stab his family in the back any longer. Thankfully, that divorce paperwork you sent me came in the mail today, so I went ahead and signed it all as quickly as I could and then handed it in to the courthouse.
Hey! Don't you screw around with me! I'm telling you right now that we don't have to get a divorce anymore! Are you freaking retarded choosing to divorce me over having me back? If you throw me away right now, a stupid housewife like you will never be able to support yourself.
Oh, I think I can, though. After all, I'll be getting loads of money from you in both the form of a settlement and child support. And let's not forget about the money you sent me before as part of you sharing half of your money with me.
What?
I also got that contract from you in the mail this morning. There's never ever been a better divorce for the wife in the history of mankind, I believe. So of course I chose to sign that too before handing in the papers.
What?
And like you were asking me to do, I went and had one more chat with Nina. After that talk, she told me she no longer needed to go with you anymore. She told me that with all the money you'd be giving me, she didn't have to worry about a thing anymore.
You're lying, right? Nina's throwing me away now too, then?
What kind of comment was that? Up until yesterday, you were referring to your own daughter as getting in your way and that you didn't need her anymore.
That was because I wanted my girlfriend to stay. That's why I said I'd pay you however much you wanted in child support. Yet now, with this, I'm the only one getting hurt.
You thought that a cheating bastard like yourself was supposed to escape free of any damage here? Get real, Dad. Did you seriously think we'd let you be happy after what you did?
Is that you, Nina?
Sorry for not going with you after all, Dad. But you were the one that abandoned both Mom and I at the start. Which means that now, while you're being abandoned by us, you're not going to complain anymore, right?
You. So this was your goal from the start, wasn't it? At first you were all about going with me and making my life hell, all so that I would make that contract promising your mom more money.
I learned a lot in basketball about how to play both offensively and defensively. And that was my defensive play, followed now by my offensive play. And just today, Mom and I scored a 3-pointer on you with that divorce paperwork. Just know that your money will continue going to me, playing the sport I love as I go to university to not only study, but hopefully play even more.
You freaking asshole! With the way things are going, I'm taking back everything I said about the money. I'm not paying you guys anything in child support, and as for your basketball, I'm not paying a dime.
What do you think you're saying when you already gave Mom the contract which she's now signed? You already signed and dated your half, which means the courthouse and Mom's lawyer won't let you take it back. How can you be your age and a dad, yet not know as much as me?
Excuse me?
Now I'm going to go and join Mom as we both start a new life where we no longer have you getting in our way. I really hope that you and your ex-girlfriend get back together soon. I wish for a happy future between you and that dumbass university student of yours.
That day, I made sure to tell the courthouse that the divorce was final, and that my lawyer would be helping me get the child support Bo promised me, which they did. At first, Bo tried to snake his way out of paying for Nina to continue playing basketball. But when my lawyer sent him a notice stating that he needed to comply with the contract he made, he couldn't get away. As for the ex-girlfriend that ran away from Beau and the settlement she needed to pay, I had Nina give me the number to her university, and after a quick phone call to them, they grabbed her. The school went and forced her to leave for the rest of the semester, and later I had a talk with her parents about what happened. After that talk, her parents forced her to drop out of that university, and her parents went ahead and paid me the settlement, which they will now force their daughter to pay over time. As for what happened with Beau later on, having taken on a lot of debt in order to pay off both that settlement and the child support, and quitting his job due to backlash from his superiors, he started working at a local convenience store. Thankfully, everything worked out as Nina and I had planned, and I'm now left with a bunch of money I can use to support my daughter and I as I slowly begin to look for a job again. And Nina can now do whatever she needs to make sure she continues to play well in basketball, and perhaps one day get a full-ride scholarship from it.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hello, Em. This is Karina. Are you really over at my parents' house right now, living with them? From what I've heard, it sounds like you're living there with both my mom and dad and my little brother. Long time no see, Karina. A lot actually happened that led to us having to live with them. I told you so many times now not to go living with them, yet you still did it anyway? I told you to say no to my parents no matter how many times they both asked. My dad was going off about how it has to be the oldest son that lives with them and that you were being too audacious, right? Yet even still, you made sure to say no to him, right? That time was very tough for both your brother and I, considering how intensely they kept talking to us. They had me in that room for close to 2 hours and went on and on about how I needed to act as a wife. Just like that, both my parents went into in-law mode on you. Did that eventually get to you and cause you to finally give in to their requests? How lucky. I am finally able to relax now and get the divorce I'd always been wanting. What? Divorce? Karina, are you going to get a divorce now? When we last saw you at our wedding, you and your husband seemed so close to one another. And there's been a lot going on with myself as well recently. In my house, there are 3 children running around, right? And I have been a housewife this whole time, so even though I wanted to get a divorce, I could never do anything. I wanted someone to be there for me to take my kids if I were to get divorced from my husband. What? Are you hinting at me right now? No matter how you try and think about it, you're the only person I can rely on for something like that, right? There was no way I could leave my 3 kids in the hands of my aging parents after moving back in with them. And also, I didn't want to come home to them always preaching to me about how I need to do a better job raising my kids. But if there's now a younger woman in the house, I can just have her take care of the kids without a problem at all. In other words, I'll be like a slave? Living back at home with my parents means that I won't have to pay for rent or anything else. And if I get to have a slave of my own to boss around, then I can make living as a single mother happen. Now, I'm going to get divorced from my husband as soon as possible. Hold it right there, Karina. Bringing something like that up right now is not all right. I have never cared for any children before, and calling me your slave? I have to start working on this divorce, so don't keep me waiting. This is the reason why having the oldest son and his wife back in my parents' house is the best time for me. Hold on. When it comes to the wife, your one and only job is to serve him and the rest of his family, right? And that includes your husband's older sister. Now, I have a divorce to make, and right after that, I'll be coming back home to all of you. Get everything ready for my return, please and thank you. What are we going to do, Seth? I'm about to be screwed over by your older sister when she gets back here.
What? What are you going on about right now, Em? Did my parents go to you again saying a bunch of bullcrap?
This time it wasn't your parents, but Karina who came to me speaking loads of nonsense. She told me that with me living in your parents' house now, she can relax and get a divorce.
Huh? Get a divorce?
Karina told me that she wants to divorce her husband. She's been wanting to do it for a while, actually, but she has her 3 kids, which have been holding her back from making the choice. But now that I'm home with your parents and you, she thinks she doesn't have to worry anymore and can come back here to us. And she told me that I'll have to be the one to take care of her 3 kids once they're all moved in. She told me I'm going to be like her slave from now on.
Hey, hold on for a second. This is all coming at me too fast. I don't fully get what's going on here. To start, does my sister really want to get divorced now? What kind of merit is there in divorcing such a loving and kind husband as the one she has?
I'm not sure what's all been going on at their house, but she told me she's been thinking about divorcing him for a while now, and that's what she's finally going to do now.
Yes. And her reason for making that choice is because you're not living here with my parents in their house? That's... The hell does she think she's thinking, wanting to come back here and use my wife like that?
For some reason, she may think that I've been reformed now or something.
Huh?
Well, before we never once talked about moving in with your parents before our wedding, right? Yet recently we moved in with your parents, even though we turned them down so many times before. She thinks that I might finally understand what it means to be your wife or something, and that's led her to believe that she can do whatever she wants with me.
Huh? You have to be kidding me. We're not with my parents right now because we want to be here.
Your parents were just being so rude about it all the time that we just gave in and moved into their house, right? Actually, I kind of respect the both of them for being so dang persistent. I thought to myself sometimes that if they could be turned down that many times yet still ask us over and over again, they deserve to hear a yes for once.
Sure. What are you talking about, Em? We didn't give in to any of this. We just did this to get those two to shut the hell up. I am thankful that they both paid for part of our wedding and everything. But that was just a trap, it seems. And they told me if we leave this house now, we have to pay all that back to them.
And they said we had to pay it all back to them in one lump sum if we wanted to leave. I really thought that when your parents shut up for a bit there, they gave up on the prospect of forcing us to move in with them. But they started coming at us even harder before we chose to come here.
We had no other choice, or else I'll be deaf in both my ears right now. And if my older sister's moving in with us, with her 3 kids in tow, I'm out. Like seriously, I'm out of this house and the family. I can't deal with all that, having to stay at home for work already.
How old were they again? 4, 2, 3 months or something like that? No way the inside of the house would ever be quiet again for you. And for me to have to become their babysitter without any experience taking care of kids at all?
Hey, Em? You want to just get the hell out of my parents' house?
What? But we don't have the money to pay your parents back in one lump payment, right? Your parents paid around $30,000 for our wedding, and since we just had to get that new car, we don't have anywhere close to that right now. We have at least another $10,000 we need to save up, right? And considering we have to pay them back in one go...
And here's the thing. I have that extra $10,000 we've been needing to pay them back with. I hit a small jackpot through the lottery and got $10,000.
What?
This will destroy all the savings we have. But I'd rather start from square one again than have to live with both of my parents as well as my older sister and her 3 kids. Don't you feel the same way about that?
What are we going to do, Seth? I had a $10,000 jackpot on the lottery numbers I bought as well. To think we'd be fortunate enough to hit a $10,000 jackpot at the same time? You and I must be a really lucky couple. Now we have more than enough to get the hell out of your parents' house, enough to even pay for a moving truck and all.
Once we have a date and a place picked out, let's go. We have to do this in a way that neither of my parents will be able to notice. And we need to get out of here before my sister moves in.
Please do your very best for me starting today, Em. I was able to get that divorce taken care of in a day, and now I'm home. What? You already took care of the divorce and are home now? I really wanted to come back to my parents' place as soon as possible, so I got myself a lawyer who could handle everything for me within a couple of hours. I'll be getting tons of money from my ex and child support as well, and now that I have myself a babysitter right inside my own home that I can abuse, I am set. Starting today, I'm going to just lay around and relax all I want without any complaints from anyone. Karina, you don't plan on getting a job or anything? I kind of thought you'd be leaving your 3 kids with me so that you could go out and work a bit. I'm a housewife, so I shouldn't have to do anything called working a job. And in this country, being a single mother means that I'm able to get my hands on all kinds of money. I also have the child support for 3 kids coming in, as well as not having to pay any rent to live here. So there's no reason at all for me to be getting a job right now. What? What about the cost of sending your kids to school soon? Well, if that's going to be a problem, there's always the inheritance from my parents, right? Everyone in my family is known for living very short lives. So by the time my first kid is ready for school, my mom and dad should both be out the door. That is a really poor outlook you have on things. I love being back home. I've also been able to free myself from my ex's really annoying talk about how I need to do better when raising the kids and doing the chores. So with that, in order to let me enjoy this heaven, you need to do everything I say. Please and thank you. I need you here to take care of all 3 of my kids right now, as well as get me some ice cream. Right now, I'm feeling like eating at least 5 things of Haagen-Dazs right now. So you really are using me like a slave. Is that really the way you want to think about me? Well, considering you are my brother's wife and new to the family, you are our slave, right? Today starts your time as such, so be ready to do everything we all say.
Her and I have already moved out of there.
What?
Didn't think you'd only take a week to get a divorce and move back into mom and dad's. Thank God we made the right choice of getting out of that house this morning. The fact that we both hit those jackpots and now this? We are some lucky people.
Her and I? Is this you, Seth?
Right. I wasn't going to let you treat my wife like that anymore, now that I had a great glimpse of that the way you like to harass her. I took the phone from her, and will be texting with you now instead. She also has a lot of work to do yet, as we are still unboxing everything here.
What do you mean by having moved out? You both are still living at her mom and dad's house, right? And that means Em has finally learned her place as the wife of the oldest son, right? So what the hell are you talking about when you say you moved out?
You really thought that either of us ever wanted to move in with mom and dad? No way did Em or I want that to happen. But the both of us continued to be harassed by those awful parents of ours, and we ended up moving in as a last resort to get them to shut the hell up.
What? What do you mean they were harassing the both of you?
At first, Em and I were lied to. They said that if we moved in with them, they would pay for part of the wedding costs we still had left over. But when everything was paid off and we thought we could finally relax, both mom and dad changed instantly. They told the both of us that they were just lending us the money for part of the wedding, and that we had to pay them back in one lump payment or else we could never leave. But of course that wasn't going to happen. So we had to stay with the both of them up until this morning.
That's what happened there? So neither you or Em learned your lessons about being the oldest son and the wife of the oldest son?
What the hell are you talking about? I hate families that think they can always tell their oldest son to do whatever they want, all because they were the oldest. I was always told that because I was the oldest, rather their only son, I had to go to college close to home, and that when I got married, I would have to move my wife into the house of mom and dad. And that I have to be the one to take care of those two when they got too old to do anything themselves. I'm sick and tired of those two's BS.
Sick and tired of it, but you are their oldest son.
The only reason you agree with that is because you are too much of a lazy bitch to do anything yourself. You're always making me do everything for you, all because mom and dad would always say that I had to as their son. You made me work like your slave when we were younger. You always said that it was the brother's job to take care of their older sister. None of that even matters, considering you're the older sibling and should have been taking care of me. Yet instead you just sat around using mom and dad's influence to make up rules all the damn time.
I may have been doing that.
I'm done with all that. I just paid both mom and dad back all the money they lent to us, which means we no longer have to live with them anymore.
Then from now on, what are we going to do? The plan was to... I thought that Em would still be around, so I chose to come back home. Who's going to take care of the kids for me?
How about their freaking mother does that for them? Not what? That's your responsibility as a mother, isn't it? You're not going to slack off and make someone else do your job.
But I had a plan for all of this. I would be getting all that child support from my ex and could relax and enjoy life at Mom and Dad's house. And by having Em take care of my kids, I could get off easy doing nothing at all.
Then give your kids back to your ex. He already came to me about what happened in the divorce and about how you forced all the kids to go with you. I was just on the phone
What?
with your ex a second ago. He said that right after coming home from his business trip, both you and the kids were nowhere to be found. All there was a divorce form saying that the matter had been dealt with already. Yet he had no clue what that was about.
You're kidding me. He's already back from that trip? He told me he planned to be gone for more than a week on that trip.
He was worried about how the kids were faring and came home to check on them. He told me that you rarely ever took good care of them and would just sit around the house all day taking naps.
What?
I heard about everything from your ex, Karina. You were so selfish that you forced your husband to do everything and it was wearing him out. And it sounds like your reason for the divorce was very self-centered as well, wasn't it? You both got married under the pretext that you'd both be working. Yet after the wedding, you went and quit your job and became a housewife. And what did you say after your husband found out about that? You said you'd be going back out and working after you had your kids. Well, you had 3 of them and still have not gone back to work. Actually, you made sure to keep getting pregnant so that you could use it as an excuse not to work. And now you're getting a divorce over him asking you to do more than just sit around? Your reasoning for it is that you can get child support from him every month and use that to relax all day long?
You're joking, right? That jackass told you all of that, too?
Tell me, what do you actually think of your husband and kids? I think having him come take those 3 away from you right now would be the best thing for them. You need to be the one paying that child support instead of him.
Hold on a second. Something like child support isn't what the mother should be paying.
Are you brain dead?
Something like child support is only paid by the father to the mother, right? Even if I don't take the kids, he should still be paying me for those things, right?
Jesus Christ, you really are brain dead, aren't you? I'm a bit shocked to learn that my older sister is actually disabled that way. I'll go tell your ex this, so he can bring it to the court's attention right away. You're too unwell to be taking care of any kids at all.
What?
I'll let him know you're back at Mom and Dad's house now. That way he can make his way over to get the 3 kids from you. Now, I have to go back to helping Em with the boxes. Please take care of Mom and Dad for me.
Please, Em, help me, please. Not only are we in-laws, but we're sisters as well, right? And you should be coming to help your older sister when she's in trouble.
What's happened to you, Karina? Is there something troubling you over there at your mom and dad's place?
Everything is troubling me right now. My ex-husband is taking all 3 of my kids away from me. And to make matters worse, he's asking for me to pay child support now.
That's kind of how that sort of stuff works. If he's going to be taking care of all 3 by himself, then you're legally required to pay child support to him. Even if you guys are divorced now, you still have a responsibility to your kids, and paying child support is that responsibility.
I am not screwing around right now. With all 3 of them in mind, I'm having to pay my ex $1,500 a month.
You're only paying him $500 per kid? That's actually a really low price he asked for, so you should be able to pay that off, no problem.
That's not all, though. He told me when it comes to things like their birthday and Christmas presents, I'd have to be responsible for those too.
Well, that's what most divorced parents agree on. As their mother, you should be more than happy to get your children presents on their birthdays and on Christmas, right?
Even if I wanted to, that kind of money is impossible for me. I have been a housewife this whole time. Having to go from not paying a dime to paying $1,500 a month, and also having to buy their presents 4 times a year, that is way too much for me to have to deal with.
Well, you were the one that decided to have 3 kids, right? Sitting there complaining about it all now isn't going to magically make money appear out of thin air either. You need to go out and find yourself a job right now. At least you no longer have to care for your kids, so you have the time to go searching for work.
But I don't have the time to search for a job. Both of my parents were just admitted into the hospital. Having to go back and forth is already taking up most of my day now. Both of them are in the hospital right now? What the hell happened to the both of them?
Did they both come down with some kind of a serious illness? Well, they're not sick with anything. Rather, they both got hurt at the same time. When I got the news about the amount I'd have to pay every month in child support to my ex, I freaked out and started to drink my worries away. And when I was close to blacking out, I went on a rampage inside the house. And, because of that, I was so upset that in my rampage, I charged my parents who were on the stairs and pushed them down. Huh? My mom ended up breaking both her wrists and can no longer use her hands. My dad ended up worse, though, landing under my mom and breaking his hip and smacking his head so hard that he has a TBI now. So you really went and did it this time, sending both of your parents to the hospital like that? Don't you dare say it like that. I don't remember any of it because I was so drunk then. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of problems at the moment. So do you mind helping me out a little? I would like you to start helping me pay for all 3 of my kids' child support. No way. What? You really expected me to say sure? Sorry that you dug your hole that deep, but I'm not going down there to help you get out. Did I sound like I was joking? After how kindly your older sister just asked you for help, why the hell aren't you saying yes? If you want to talk about why all of this started happening in the first place, you're to blame. This happened because you moved out of my parents' house without ever saying a word to me. How about you stop trying to push all that blame onto us, please? Fine. I won't ask you to pay child support, but at least give me some money to keep myself alive. When my parents have been in the hospital, I had to look at all their savings. There's a lot less in there than I thought. If you don't start supporting me, my future isn't going to be good for me. Then, like I was saying, it's time for you to go and get a job. Any job, right now. You're a dick, Em. Even though we're family, even though you're my brother's wife, you're going to abandon your older sister? Both my mom and dad want you to come and see them in the hospital. They said that because Seth is their son, he needs to come and take care of them.
Sorry, but both Em and I are banning all 3 of you. And I mean that quite literally. How about you try shutting that pie hole of yours for a change and face reality? We aren't your parents, and do not care about taking care of you.
Hold on, Seth. What the hell do you mean you're abandoning all of us?
I'm saying we're cutting ties to you guys. The fact that you're now blaming my wife for everything is enough. I really hate that my sisters, my older sister, think they can just use us like we're slaves, and never say a single thanks for it.
Cutting ties to us? No way. What the hell do you think you're doing as the oldest son of this family? Do you have any idea what'll happen to us if you all cut ties?
I don't care, to be completely honest with you. It's not like you guys ever cared about any of my problems. So that kind of family love is going to go both ways here. You really care so much about mom and dad in the house? How about you start to care for all of it? I'm leaving it all to you, actually. Why can't you? I got married
What are you saying? I can't do any of that.
not too long ago and have a new family now. I also have a wife to protect. What about you? You don't have a family you're caring for currently, or a house. Your ex-husband is taking care of your kids, right? Then how about you start to use that time you have to care for both mom and dad and their house? Man, you going and divorcing your husband like that for mom and dad really helped me a ton. Now, I'll finally be able to say goodbye to you 3 without having to worry.
No, wait. Please don't say something so cruel as wanting to cut ties to us. You are the oldest son of this family, Seth. I want to make you take care of this house, mom and dad, and all of my problems for me.
Peace, Karina. And make sure to tell mom and dad this. We're not going to see you because we don't like to be around liars and scammers. With that, they're all in your hands now. Make sure you start to pay your ex that child support for your 3 kids' sake.
When both of Seth's parents heard the word about how we'd be cutting ties to them and Karina, they both started to throw fits. But since they're both having to stay in the hospital for a while, nothing they have to say about us matters at all. With that, I had a word with Seth, and I changed my job in order to find a place closer to our new home so that we weren't having to go anywhere close to their house anymore. As for what happened with Karina after we cut ties completely, she ran back to her ex, pleading for him to take her back and remarry her, even getting on her hands and knees to beg. But his response to that was, in order to show that she really wanted to be a part of the family again, she'd first have to go a few months paying child support to him, and then he'd think about it. So right now, while having to go back and forth from the hospital to see and care for her parents, Karina is working 2 part-time jobs, making money in order to pay child support. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.